What is up, everybody? Oh, let me fix my posture. Welcome to the stream. It's I, the Radishologist. Um, Today we are doing some more movie club. It's been a couple weeks, so we're going to be discussing some movies, talking about my thoughts on them. Um, how was everyone's day today? My day was pretty good. I took a nap earlier, and I got all disoriented afterwards, so that was cool. But anyway, if you don't know how Movie Club works, I usually just talk about movies while I play Fall Guys, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys want to join the conversation, feel free to chat anything that comes to mind. Um, yeah, so today we're going to talk about three movies that came out this year that I watched recently, and then three other older movies that I also watched recently. So we're going to talk about The Woman King, the most recent movie starring Viola Davis, however you pronounce her name. We're going to talk about They Slash Them. It's a new movie from this year. The new Pinocchio remake. We'll talk about that as well. And then three other movies, older movies, that I've watched recently: American Beauty, Gladiator, and Captain Fantastic. So six movies to discuss today. Um, but yeah, without further ado, let's get into the Fall Guys. Is it working? Okay, cool. You turn on desktop audio. And yeah, all right. So, also I added this background around my camera. Let me know if that's like too distracting. I don't know. I thought it would look nicer, especially with the words underneath of it. Let me know what you guys think about it. But anyway, so first movie we're gonna talk about today is The Woman King, as you can see in the bottom left corner. This movie is a historical action film starring, I think it's Viola Davis. I don't think it's Viola, because Viola is the instrument. Starring her, she's the main character. Um, and also, what's her name? Lashana Lynch is in it. John Boyega. Uh, Thuso Mbedu, however you pronounce that. I was probably wrong. If she ever sees this, which she won't, but if she ever sees this, sorry for mispronouncing your name. Um, yeah, I started having my cast list up on my phone, or the cast list up on my phone, just so I can remember actors' names, because in like all of my other episodes, I have forgotten most of the actors unless they're like really famous. So this should be better. But anyway, so this movie takes place in the 1800s, right? Yeah, 19th century is 1800s, um, and it's in Africa. It's about the Kingdom of Dahomey, um, which is a real place, or was a real place. I don't know. And basically, it's about this kingdom has an elite army of woman warriors. That's just like the culture they have there. Kind of like the Dora Milaje from Black Panther, but cooler, I would say. um, I don't know if that's like an insensitive thing to compare it to because they're both African women armies. I don't know. I'm just pointing out similarities that I noticed. Um, so yeah, this movie is basically just about that era. I mean, not like the whole era, but the main protagonist is the leader or the general of the army. That's Viola Davis. Um, and then the other main character, she is a new trainee in the army. So it's basically about them trying to take down the um, French or British or somebody that are trying to enslave them, or I don't know, they're going to war with them or something like that. I don't really know exactly. Um, but yeah, this movie came out last weekend at the time of me recording this, which is September 16th or something like that. I went to see it in theaters with my roommate, and we both really enjoyed it. It's not like amazing, It's not the best movie we've ever seen, but it's pretty good. It's a very solid film. Um, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has like 90-something% critic score and a 99% audience score last time I checked. Um, and like it's a good movie, but I don't think it's that good. And it makes me wonder if people just rate this movie highly because the protagonist, or because it's about, like a black female protagonist, and like basically all the characters are black females. Um, because like they don't want to criticize it because then they are afraid of being accused of being racist slash sexist, I guess. I don't know. I could be projecting and making that up entirely. Um, I just don't think it's 99% worthy. But I still like it. Um, and I'm also remembering like Black Panther had a similar score on Rotten Tomatoes. Um, it's like the highest rated MCU movie, I think. And while it's a good movie, it's definitely not the best MCU movie. So, you know, people rated that one highly because black characters. Who knows? Or maybe those movies are good, and I'm just a racist myself. I mean, I like both movies. Um, like The Woman King was pretty good. Don't give it that high, 99%, but I still like it. The story is very compelling. I really liked watching the three new girls to the army, which is a Gojay, I think is what the army is called, the women army. We basically movie starts out with the three young girls joining the army. I mean, there's a bunch of them, but three main young girls joining the army. I mean, not young, but like 19 years old or something, and they are, training to become elite warriors like the rest of the Agojay. So watching them train, and progress throughout that story. I mean, the progress, like learn how to be good warriors. It's an interesting story. It's not like anything top tier, but it's good. It's formulaic, but it works. The acting is really good. Viola Davis is a fantastic actor in like everything that she's in. And in this movie, she's definitely great. I would not be surprised if she were to be nominated for some Oscars, or the Oscar for Best Actress this year, Best Lead Actress, because she was very good. And also the other main girl, the trainee, Uzo, however you pronounce her name, Uzo Mbedu, her acting was great too. So if she also gets nominated, I would not be opposed. Because their acting is great, and then not just them, all the actors are great. John Boyega's in this, and he finally has a good character. Because Star Wars ruined his character. Well, that's another discussion that we will maybe get into another time. I don't know, but yeah, he deserves a good character, so he got one in this movie. So good for him. And his acting is great too. What are these? Sorry, Fall Guys moment. What are these things that are just floating everywhere? Like lightsabers? I don't know what they mean. I don't know. I'm just gonna ignore it. But anyway, back to The Woman King. Lashana Lynch is also pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, so these actors and actresses, mostly actresses, because John Boyega is like really the only main dude. Well, there's a couple other guys, but they all are great. They put on great performances, basically. They're really good at showing vulnerability, but also being badasses at the same time, because they're really skilled warriors. So that's really cool. Let's see. There's also a bit of romance and humor sprinkled throughout this film, which is interesting. Because it's more of an action film, but it's always nice to laugh at a movie and see some romantic things happening. Um, oh, all the actors, because this takes place in Africa, the actors all have heavy accents, and we watched it in a theater because it's only out in theaters, so there were no subtitles. So honestly, a lot of the times it was kind of hard to understand what they were saying. That could just be because I'm white, very white. I don't know. Um, I understood what was happening most of the time. But yeah, their accents were really thick, so occasionally I did not know what they were saying. Um, so if you ever do watch this and don't want to watch it in theaters, I recommend putting subtitles on, unless you are good at understanding accents. I know I'm not. Like I usually watch movies with subtitles these days, honestly, unless it's in the theater. Um, just because I can't hear properly, I guess. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so yeah, it's a great movie. Um, there's a lot of action scenes too. I'll be honest. I mean, this isn't really just this movie having this problem, but a lot of action movies these days, the action scenes are so full of like quick cuts and shaky camera, um, fast movement and all of that. And that's all just to make it feel like you're there in the action, which is great, but so many times I cannot understand what's going on. Maybe I'm just stupid, but I feel like it's the case with a lot of movies. Like things go so quickly that nobody can understand what's happening. And especially in this movie when most of the actors are wearing the same outfit because they have a uniform for the army. So yeah, I don't know. It's really it's kind of hard to I mean, it looks cool and it makes you feel like you're there, but I can't tell who's who or who's winning a lot of the time. Um, yeah, I don't know. So that happens a lot in this movie and most action movies these days, honestly. So it's not just the Woman King having that problem, but but otherwise the action scenes are really cool. Um, and then let's see. Oh, there's a plot twist in this movie. No one's here, so I'll spoil it. If you haven't seen it, beware spoilers. I mean, in movie club, I always talk about spoilers, so just be warned ahead of time. Um, there's a plot twist in this movie where you find out that the two protagonists, the trainee, is actually the daughter of Viola Davis's character, the general, which I did not see coming, and it added a unique layer to their relationship. Because now they're a mother-daughter relationship. So um, that was unexpected and a great twist, I think, because then now these characters have to care for each other. Because the general is kind of more like a hardened general, or torn general who doesn't personally care about her army. I mean, she does, but not like a lot. And then she realizes that she has a daughter in the army, so that's a cool layer there. Um, let's see. I just had words in my head. Hang on. Um, um, um. Oh yeah, and what's even more interesting is that she didn't want to have this daughter. Like she abandoned this daughter 19 years ago. That's why she didn't realize she was her daughter at first. So that, is another layer there because she never really wanted the daughter, but now that she has her, she's like, I can't let her die. So she has to go. She goes and rescues her. So yeah, so that part of the story, it's got a lot of heart to it. And you guys know me. I love my familial relationships in movies: mother-daughter, father-son, brother-sister, stuff like that. So this mother-daughter relationship is quite compelling to me. So yeah, that is definitely a great part of the movie. Besides that, there's not really any like deep message or themes that you to think about. Like it's pretty formulaic in that sense, which isn't. I mean, it's not like it needs these themes. I guess something would have something deep. I don't know, would have made it even better. But since it doesn't have anything like that, it's solid, but it's not fantastic. There's actually maybe it's just certain corners of the internet, there's controversy go around surrounding this movie because apparently it's not historically accurate. So it's based on historical events, right? The Kingdom of Dahomey was real, is real / was real. I don't really know. Um, and they were involved in the slave trade, which you see in this movie. But in this movie, father, hello son, Andrew, welcome to the stream. I'm currently talking about The Woman King, which is a movie starring Viola Davis. It's a pretty good movie. But I was just talking about the controversy surrounding it because it's based on historical events, but because this kingdom was involved in the slave trade. Okay, just interrupt me and redeem something. Which one is that? Aloha? I don't remember. Oh, is that put on a Hawaiian lei? Okay, I'll put on a Hawaiian lei. Hang on. She's a great actor. I agree. Yeah, Viola Davis is fantastic. Every movie I've seen her in, she's amazing. And I think she deserves an Oscar nomination for this movie. Anyway, you like the Hawaiian lei? I got 3 more of these, so you can only redeem it 3 more times. Anyway, but yeah, the controversy. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so this kingdom was involved in the slave trade. In this movie, they depict them as like unwilling to be selling slaves. They're like trying to change that. But apparently in real life, yes I do. Okay, good. I'm glad you like it. Apparently in real life, this kingdom, I mean, I guess that didn't happen and they just sold slaves. So a lot of people don't like that this movie is like glorifying slavers, I guess. I know a lot about that. On my Minecraft server, we got some slavers on there that I hate. I should not be comparing those two things, Minecraft to real life events. So people are even trying to boycott this movie because it's supposedly glorifying slavers. But in my opinion, like, it's a movie, so who cares, right? Like, things don't have to be historically accurate. And there's tons of movies, I mean, I wouldn't say glorifying, but like depicting bad people that happen in real life or that existed in real life. So I don't think people should boycott this movie or even dislike it because of that reason. Like, I think it's a solid action movie with a good story, great acting, pretty cool action, and based on historical events. So that's pretty cool, even though, you know, may not actually be completely accurate. Yeah, Django exists. Yeah, was Django Unchained? People still love Leo for that. Was that based on real events? And oh no, I know what you're talking about. You're saying Leo was like he was a terrible person, and he was a great actor. I don't know if I realized that his character existed in real life. I guess that would make sense. Yeah, I really like that movie. I should talk about that in one of these streams. Django Unchained, probably one of my favorite Tarantino movies. But yeah, Leo, you know, he was a dick in that movie, but his performance was great, so he deserves commendations. I don't know the word. Praise for that. Yeah, that's the word. But yeah, back to this movie. Actually, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about The Woman King. Dude, Fall Guys like updated recently, and there's all these new sounds and stuff, and it's throwing me off. Anyway, I'm not supposed to talk about Fall Guys. I'm supposed to just talk about movies. So, yeah, I would recommend watching The Woman King if you like, you know, action movies. It's also, if you ignore the historical inaccuracies, it's great diversity in this movie. You know, empowering to see all this army of elite black female warriors. I think is, I mean, I guess I'm not black or female, so it's not empowering to me. But you know, I'm sure it's empowering to them. You know, I feel like I'm treading on thin ice here with the things that I'm talking about today. Lots of controversies and political stuff. But yeah, it's a good movie. I recommend it if you like historical action movies. I see a lot of people comparing it to Braveheart. I haven't seen Braveheart, but that's a well-liked historical action movie, I think. So if you like that movie, you probably like this. But yeah, let's see. I gave The Woman King an 8 out of 10 overall. Oh, was that supposed to go in there? Um, you know, it's solid. Not as good as everyone's saying with the 99% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but I still liked it. And you know, I guess I probably wouldn't watch it again, but at least not in theaters. But I didn't dislike it or anything. Am I gonna lose this round? I don't know where the end is. Is this the end? Oh, yeah, this is the end. Okay. Sorry, not supposed to talk about Fall Guys. Just like National Treasure. What, like National Treasure is a good movie? Because I agree. Okay, I lost. I'm bad at Fall Guys. Anyway, but yeah, let's move on to the next movie. That was The Woman King. Go watch it in theaters if you want, if you're interested. But next on the list is American Beauty. And I guess this movie also has some controversy surrounding it. Well, not surrounding it, but it's about controversial topics. So we're really getting into the controversies today. So American Beauty is a film from 1999. It stars, hold on, let me pull up my cast list. I have it on my phone because I always forget cast members. This stars Kevin Spacey, Mina Suvari, Thora Birch, Wes Bentley, Chris Cooper, and some other people. So, this movie came out in 1999. It's about... oh, I should also say who's directed it. Let's see, who did direct it? I don't remember. Someone famous, though. Oh, Sam Mendes, right. Who he did 1917 most recently, so he's a good director. The Woman King was directed by some director that I don't know the name of. I mean, isn't very famous, I don't think. Gina something Bythewood or something. Let me look. Gina Prince Bythewood. Okay, yeah. But back to American Beauty. It's about a middle-aged man who's, you know, like become bored with life. You know, he's in that midlife crisis, I guess. He's realizing all he does is work at a terrible job, come home to a wife that he doesn't even like, and a daughter who doesn't appreciate him. So he's really just hating life. And then he becomes infatuated with his daughter's friend. And as he becomes infatuated with her, he realizes he needs to change his lifestyle, right? So that's the controversial part of it. Like, he is basically lusting after this high school age girl. I don't remember if, like, the character is supposed to be 18 or not. I wouldn't be surprised if not. What? Yeah. Yeah, so it's really, like, it's weird if based on that description, but surprisingly it's a good movie. And it's a long story. I have to get to that. But the themes explored in this movie make this movie really good somehow, even though it's about basically a pedophile. So yeah, let's get into discussing why I actually like this movie. And it's not just me who likes it. Like, this is a critically panned movie. It won like 5 Oscars, or at least was nominated for 5. And I think one of the Oscars it won was Best Picture, which is basically just the award for Best Movie of the Year. So it's not just me who like the movie, I swear. But yeah, the reason it's so good is because of the themes. Oh wait, I don't need to leave. I won. This might reveal some tropes about Todd. No, I swear it's. So yeah, as I was writing down my notes on this movie, I was like, maybe I shouldn't talk about this on stream. But it's not like everyone likes this movie. I mean, not everyone. And especially actually recently, people have started to dislike it because it turns out Kevin Spacey is actually, or I think is actually like a pedo in real life or something, or I don't know. I don't really know exactly what happened, but there's some controversy around him too. Might have went to jail. I don't know. I could be making that up. But this was before that. This is 1999. So the themes in this movie are explored very well. All the characters have like none of them are like inherently good people. Like they all have their flaws. None of them are perfect. Like um, Lester, which is Kevin Spacey's character, is a pedo. Like that's his flaw. Um, that's why he got the role because he could play super good. LOL. Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, he plays creeps in a lot of movies. He was in something else I watched recently where he was also a creep. I think it was The Usual Suspects. Yeah. So yeah, maybe I mean maybe he's I don't know always I don't know. But yeah, and then let's see the girl that he falls in love with, she is attention seeking, I guess is the word, and uses her body to get what she wants. And then at the end of the movie, you find out she's actually a virgin and hasn't actually done any of the things she talks about. So that's, you know, another layer to her. And then let's see, his daughter is just like a entitled brat, I guess. And then their neighbor who falls in love with his daughter, he's like a psychopath or something. He sells drugs for money and stalks this girl, and for some reason she falls in love with him, and then even offers to kill her dad because her dad, she knows that he is lusting over her friend. So he's like, "You want me to kill him?" And she's like, "Yeah." So that's flaws of them too. And then the wife, who he hates, is also a bad person because she only thinks about herself. And then the neighbor's dad, to I don't know what you're saying to what about, but yeah, a lot of things. Oh, about how he offers to kill her dad. Yeah, like it's crazy if you're just listening to me explain it. You gotta actually watch it. But yeah, and then the neighbor's dad, the psychopath neighbor, his dad is very like a military, very conservative guy. Hates the gays, very homophobic, and then at the end you find out that he's actually gay himself, or at least considering becoming gay, so he's like closeted. He tries to kiss the main character who he thought was gay even though he wasn't. So yeah, there's all these different character flaws, or I don't know, character traits about them. They're all explored very well throughout the film, and the way they all interact is just interesting, I guess. And the way the movie makes you root for these characters that aren't even good people, which is why it's so interesting, because you don't want to root for them. Like the main character, he literally wants to have sex with a high school age girl, and that's a terrible thing to want because he is 40 something years old or something like that. But for some reason we still root for his character because I don't know, the movie just portrays him in a light that makes him compelling, you know? And besides that, he is trying to actively better his life besides that part of it. He's like working out, he quits his job that he hates to just do things he enjoys. He starts smoking a little to have fun. He starts working out. He gets a job at a fast food place because he thinks that would be more interesting than working at his 9 to 5. So, you know, we actively want him to better his life, but he's still a creep. And at the end of the movie, actually, he does decide not to. So, this is a spoiler, but at the end of the movie, he and the daughter eventually are about to have, or not daughter, that would be weird. He and his daughter's friend are about to have sex, right? But when she reveals that she's a virgin, he's like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I mean, not in those words, but he has the realization. He's like, am I really about to take this girl's innocence? And he realizes that she's not even what he wants or something. I don't know exactly, but he decides not to have sex with her basically, and then he um, makes her breakfast or something, and treats her like how he should treat her. Um, so that's kind of like, sort of like redemption. I mean, obviously he shouldn't have done any of that in the first place, but sort of like redemption for him. And then, at the very end of the movie, he gets shot in the head and dies. Which is, I guess he deserves it, obviously, because, of the things that he wanted to do. But, I don't know, it's a crazy movie. Um, and I don't know if I'm even doing it justice, like, talking about it like this. Um, but my roommate and I both loved it because of, the themes and stuff. My roommate actually gave it a 10 out of 10. I gave it a 9 because um, there was some reason I had for not giving it full marks. I don't remember what. I guess maybe the fact that you have to root for this pedophile, maybe that could be it. um, but yeah, it's a great movie. Very complex. Um, let's see. The acting is also really good. All the actors put on great performances. Kevin Spacey is great. I mean, is a great actor. Not a great person, I don't think. um, I also really like Chris Cooper's acting, especially there's a scene in the garage. This is the scene where he shows himself as closeted gay. So basically, he thinks he sees his psycho son and his neighbor, which is Kevin Spacey, being gay together, right? But the angle that he sees it in through a window just makes him think that, but actually his son is just selling drugs to him, which is also bad, but not what he was thinking. So he goes over there, and early in the movie it's established that he's very homophobic. He wants the gays to die. And then he goes over to his neighbor's house after his son leaves, and you're like, oh, he's gonna kill him. But then, instead of killing him, he kisses Kevin Spacey. And Kevin's like, whoa, you got the wrong idea. And then he walks away into the rain, which is, his acting is just really good in that scene. I mean, it's good all around, but that scene especially, because it doesn't say anything, I don't think. He just looks, his facial expressions portrays everything you need to know. So that's crazy. And then later he does shoot him in the head. But that brings me to another point. I really like how in this movie, by the end of it, it's setting up, you really don't know who's going to kill Lester, which is Kevin Spacey's character, because all of these characters seem to hate him. His wife is having an affair, and her husband starts to treat her poorly because he hates her, basically, and she's bored.
Oh, it's Logan time!
Oh, it's Logan time, everyone.
Logan time!
I'm talking about American Beauty right now.
Oh, good movie.
Yeah. As the way I'm explaining it, I'm like, it doesn't sound like it should be a good movie because, because the main character is like a pedo and all of that. So.
Well, that's like the only bad. Well, that's like one of the bad things.
Right. Like a lot of bad things happen in it, but I'm trying to explain that it's the way they handle it is good. Like it makes it good.
Good movie. This was the way.
What?
This was the way.
Oh, that was one of the rewards they had to redeem. Yeah.
Do you make up the rewards yourself?
Yeah, I made them. Yeah.
Oh, a really big one should be you wear the Maryland flag as a cape.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Then I'd have to take it off my wall though.
That's why it has to be a really big one.
Yeah, you're right. Andrew said Logan time in all caps in chat.
Logan time, Andrew! 2 people! Woo!
Yes, it's him and me.
You count as one?
I think so. Because I'm not really watching it. Like, I'm just watching it through my page. I'm not watching it through my... If I had another monitor, I would watch it just like on my screen, but I don't. So that's why I just watch it through my page here. But yeah. Yeah, Logan gave this movie a 10 out of 10. I gave it a 9.
I don't think I gave it an official Logan rating.
Okay, I thought I remember you.
Maybe 9.5. I don't know, 10. I don't know.
I thought I remembered you saying. Oh, I think you said I think it would be a 10 out of 10. That's probably what you said. It's a good movie.
Good movie. Good movie. Oh, I did not watch the third Andor episode.
Okay, cool. We can watch when I'm done then.
Do I have time for episode of How I Met Your Mother?
What?
Do I have time for an episode of How I Met Your Mother?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was your weekly, or I guess it's more than weekly now because he was here Tuesday too. Logan's segment. Let's see. Was there anything else about American
Also,
Beauty? Yep.
I can call my credit card company. I have a feeling that they're gonna go. There's nothing wrong with your card because it's been working.
Oh, about the insurance thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you open up an account and do?
Yeah, I can.
insurance? And I'll Venmo you half of that.
Yeah, I'll try to do that
Okay.
later.
Okay.
Thanks. We're having insurance issues. Like our insurance is only like $11 a month, but it's not going through for some reason. Anyway, let's see. The soundtrack of this movie is also pretty good. Don't really know what it is about it I like, but it's very mysterious in a way. Oh, I was talking about how the movie's by the end of the movie it's setting up how you don't know which character is going to kill the main character, but one of them is because at the beginning of the movie he narrates and he's like, by the end of this movie I'll be dead or something like that. So you're like, who's going to kill him? Because you also hear at the beginning of the movie the neighbor and his daughter are like, you want me to kill him for you? And she's like, yeah. So it could be her. And then the wife is realizing that he's treating her poorly, so she's about to kill him. And then, because she's also at a gun range earlier, so she knows she can. And then the neighbor's dad, you think is going to do it because he's homophobic and thinks he's gay. And then you might think that, I guess that's it. That's probably everyone. But yeah, so it's just really interesting how they make it so you don't know who's going to kill him. But yeah, it's honestly a great movie, and I don't think I did it justice explaining it. But the themes, it really makes you think, right? It's a good theme about trying to enjoy life. Besides, the theme is not try to have sex with your high school daughter's friend. It is, if you just joined, that was a weird time to join, I'm sorry. We're talking about the movie American Beauty, that's the plot of it. But we're about to move on because I'm tired of talking about such a movie with such a dodgy topic. Surprised Twitch hasn't banned me for talking about it. But yeah, American Beauty I gave a 9 out of 10 overall. It came out in 1999 and it's streaming on, I don't know where it's streaming. I think we saw it on Prime Video or something last month or this month. So I would recommend it. So far we've talked about The Woman King and American Beauty, both good movies. Very solid. Just movies in general. But this next movie I'm about to talk about is a new movie from this year, released on Peacock, the streaming service. It's called They Slash Them. And this is not an exaggeration, but it may be the worst movie I have ever seen. There's one other movie that is in the running for that, called Megan is Missing. That's also a really bad movie. But They Slash Them is so bad. But before we get into why it's bad, let me explain what it's about. This movie, I guess, is also relatively, I guess not controversial, but like political-ish topics. Because it's about it's about a LGBT conversion camp, which I don't know if those actually exist in real life, but it's basically a place where you send your gay kids to become straight. So it's about a group of LGBT kids going to this camp, and the camp leader is, kind of odd, kind of strange. And then there's also a killer on the loose, a masked killer, kind of like Jason from Friday the 13th. So it's a slasher film that forgets to be scary, basically. It actually had potential, I thought. As it was starting out, I was like, this might actually be good despite the reviews. And then after the second scene, it crashed and burned and all went downhill. And the reasoning is basically the writing, I guess. But I'll talk about the potential parts first. So it starts out with let's see. It starts out there's this driver in the woods, late at night. So the typical scary scene. Her car, her tires are punctured, so she stops, and then a masked killer, kills her. And then that's always a good way to start a slasher movie. Introduce your slasher character, um, have him kill someone that we don't know about, just to you know establish what he can do. Why did you do every single controversial movie today? Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. I guess I just like watching controversial movies. I think it's just these first three movies that are controversial. The next three are not controversial, I don't think. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just what I happened to watch in the past couple weeks. Um, I don't know. It gives me more to talk about though, so that's cool, I guess. But yeah, so that scene with the slasher killing that character is pretty good. It could have been better, but it's not terrible. And then the next scene, it introduces the main characters at the camp, and the camp leader is just sort of strange. He gives a monologue where he seems nice, but just his language and mannerisms makes him seem slightly off. And something about the camp is just a little bit off and a little bit strange. So that had potential because it introduces our characters. It has a kind of a nice moment where he's like, the girls are in this cabin, the boys are in this cabin, and then one character is just standing still because he's like, I identify as they and them, so which cabin do I go to? And that's actually kind of a nice moment. Even though it does, I mean, I feel like in today's age, there are more people that go by those pronouns, and he's the only one. Or, shoot, they are the only one. I'm bad at pronouns in real life too, honestly. They are the only person at the camp out of like the 12-ish kids that are there that goes by they/them. All the other characters are he, him, or she, her. And it feels like today there'd be more pronouns, I don't know. So, that could be the writer's fault. They don't understand today's climate. That's a good way to put it. I'm trying to not be controversial myself. And also, let me be clear, this movie is not bad because it incorporates LGBT characters. In fact, I think that premise itself had potential as well. Having a LGBT camp where there's a killer on the loose. I thought that could be interesting if it was done right, but it is not done right. Yeah, I think it could have been Todd gets canceled live. Yeah, maybe. Maybe you should cancel me so I could stop, I don't know, digging myself into a hole. But, shoot. Oh yeah, this could have been a modern Friday the 13th, I think. Because honestly, Friday the 13th is kind of slow and boring. This movie could have been more of a modernized version of it, especially with the LGBT aspect. But no, it's not. And the main reason this movie is bad, besides the writing just being bad, this is a spoiler, but the masked killer in this movie does not even try to kill any of the kids, right? And in a movie, okay, so he goes after the camp staff, and the staff is like homophobic and abusive, so it's satisfying to watch him kill them. But in a slasher film, you want to see your main characters, the hero characters that you actually like. You want to see them in danger, right? To add some sense of conflict. Otherwise, it's just like there's no conflict whatsoever. So the fact that none of these characters are ever in any danger from that, like there's a bit of suspense where they're in the woods at night but nothing happens, and then there is one scene where one of the kids is going through this abusive conversion therapy, but that's not the slasher part. That's just, I guess it's not really scary, I wouldn't say, but I guess it's sort of a horror aspect, but that's really it. And then there's a couple murder scenes where the slasher kills, hey, I got first place in that round, nice. The slasher kills the staff members. And none of those scenes are even really that interesting. Like, no really super interesting kills. So even that the scenes that are horror are just not good. Um, so yeah, it does a lot of fake out horror scenes. Like there's one scene where a girl is showering alone, and the camera starts to get closer to her because it's like the point of view of a killer, and then it cuts to her point of view, and it's just one of the staff members watching her, and it's like, oh, that wasn't scary. That's just a white woman. um, but yeah, so I don't know what this movie was trying to do. Like, it has these themes of homophobia being bad, obviously, but it doesn't really explore anything about it. It's just like, hey, these guys are homophobic, and these kids are are in the LGBT community. Um, like that's it. It doesn't provide any like internal conflicts. There's not even any character development for any of the characters. I mean, I guess the jock kid learns to I don't know, fall for the for lack of a better term, twink character. Is that homophobic to say? I don't know. Like there's this really I don't want to say like stereotypical gay, but he's a stereotypical gay character, very flamboyant, and the jock who's like more of a closeted gay falls for him. So I guess that's kind of character development, but it's like they don't even barely even show any romantic scenes between them. In fact, he has a sort of a romantic scene with him, and then later, or like one scene later, he's having a romantic scene with another character who eventually turns out to be a bad guy, but that's a whole nother thing that I don't even want to talk about. Basically, one of the queer kids that's there has a sex scene with one of the kids. I mean, teenagers. And then it's like, haha, just kidding. I'm actually a bad guy, and this was a trap. But it's like, why did you even need to have like sex with him? You had him in this warehouse alone. Todd says Twink live on air. Yeah, I don't. I really should not be talking about this movie either. But I wanted to warn you guys that this movie is not good. Maybe it'd be good to like make fun of, but it's just it's not done well. Um, it could have been done well, but it's not. There's no horror aspects. In fact, there's literally a scene where the kids all break out into a musical number. um, which it's not a musical, so that's stupid. I mean, it's kind of a nice moment to see them bonding, but it doesn't. I don't know. It's too awkward, and the acting isn't that great. I think the actors do their best, but the script gives them nothing to work with, basically. So their performances are pretty average. And also, did I mention Kevin Bacon is in this movie? He's like a classic movie star in movies like Footloose, Friday the 13th. He was in that actually. A bunch of other movies that I haven't really seen. He had a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I think. And in this movie, his performance it just feels very uninspired. Like it feels like maybe, like why did he take this role? Because he was in Friday the 13th? Because it would be homophobic to not take the role? I don't know. In fact, I think they should have had him be the killer. That was a missed opportunity. Bacon the goat. I agree. Yeah, it was a really missed opportunity to not have him be the masked killer that's killing the kids, right? Because I feel like he could be scary in that sense. But no, it's just like this nurse character who, I guess she used to go to that camp, and she's out for revenge, so she kills all the staff. But it's like, you have this mask and these weapons. Why didn't you just kill them all before the kids even got there? Like, why did you wait? And why do you kill them like one by one? And why does nobody even mention the death of the janitor dude? Right? I don't think anyone mentions it. He dies and no one talks about it. So it's just not good. Just don't watch it unless you want to make fun of it. I honestly feel like it's so bad that it's offensive to members of the LGBT community. Like, I was looking at reviews online. Everyone hates it, especially LGBT members. I did see some giving it praise, saying if you don't take it seriously, it's good, but I don't think so. I think it's just bad in general. Um, oh, they also kill a dog in this movie, so I automatically have to hate it. If you kill a dog in a movie, I will not like it. Slashers in a nutshell, well, yeah, true. um, most of them, I mean, some of them are good, I don't know. Oh, like the fact that they don't mention people dying, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, they kill a dog, so, you know, it's not a good movie. It's um, the only thing this movie has going for it is the title, because it's a pun, right? If you say this out loud, because you know how people have pronouns, they say they, them. But if you say it out loud with a slash in the middle, it's they slash them. So it's like a slasher movie. So that's a clever title, but I am almost certain it's not original, because I saw a meme several months ago where it was like, he was like, what do you call a non-binary samurai? Or something like that. And then the pun, or the pun punchline is they slash them, right? Because samurais slash people and is non-binary, so he goes by they, go by they, them. Um, so I saw that meme, and then like a few weeks later or something, I saw a post saying there's a movie titled that. So it's like they probably saw the meme and changed the title of the movie to that. And I know that because I was looking on Wikipedia. This was not the original title of the movie. The original title was like Whistler Camp or something, because that's the setting of the movie. And then they changed it to Rejoice, because that was like the camp's slogan. And then they eventually changed it to They Slash Them, because the director was like, oh, that would be perfect for this movie. Even though the killer himself is not non-binary. It's just this woman. The main character is non-binary, but I don't know. It's a funny-ish title, and that's probably the only reason I watched it, because of the title. That may be the only reason it got views too. Um, it was released directly to Peacock, probably because they knew it wasn't going to be good. And nobody has Peacock, I don't think. It's like one of the lowest subscribed to streaming services. Even though I think the Peacock is free, so it's kind of surprising to me. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's not a good movie, and it's not because of the LGBT aspect. It's just because the writing sucks. The final act is also very underwhelming. It's also really short. Like, the main character sends all the other side characters away, and then goes to kill the killer himself, I guess. Yeah, who watches Peacock LMAO? Yeah, I don't know. Nobody, I guess. Peacock has like, I don't know. I guess they get Universal movies, I think. But those movies come out in theaters, so that's where people watch those. I don't know any. I can't think of any like original shows it has. I'm sure it has some. I mean, not original shows, but like iconic shows. You know, like Paramount Plus has SpongeBob, etc. I don't know what Peacock has. But yeah, so the final act, he goes to kill the killer or something, I don't know. And then Kevin Bacon is there, and the killer tries to kill Kevin Bacon. And then the protagonist gets the gun, and they're like gonna shoot the Kevin Bacon, and then they're like, never mind, I'm better than that, I don't need to kill him. And then the killer, who has revealed herself at this point, just kills Kevin Bacon on some spikes on the wall or something. I don't even know. It was very disappointing, and I gave it a 1 out of 10 overall, which is the lowest score I've ever given. Only given it to 2 movies in my life, which is They Slash Them and Megan is Missing. And maybe the Emoji Movie. I hate that movie as well. And also maybe Boss Baby. I hate Boss Baby. But I haven't officially rated those last 2 movies, so that's why I didn't say 4. But yeah, it's not good. Don't watch it. Unless you want to make fun of it. Alright. I think that's enough controversial movies to talk about today. Let's talk about a universally liked movie. Gladiator. which Andrew, you said you've seen. This is the only one out of all these movies that you've seen. Um, Gladiator is a very good movie. It came out. Oh wait, what about Minions: Rise of Gru? I haven't seen. I have not seen Minions: Rise of Gru. I would probably give that a 1 out of 10 too. But yeah, Gladiator is a movie that came out in 2000. It's a historical action film starring Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, some other characters. Let me pull up my cast list that I have on here while also playing Fall Guys with one hand. Oh, that's not. That's they slash them. Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, Connie Nielsen, Oliver Reed, Richard Harris, Digimon Hounsou, however you pronounce that, Spencer Treat Clark, and a bunch of other people. I also didn't say any of the actors' names of they slash them, but none of them are well known besides Kevin Bacon, so not worth talking about them. Yeah, literally the only one I've seen today. Well, good. Then let me know what you think about this movie. I really liked it. Also, sorry if I'm like moving a lot. My foot is really itching for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. So the best way. Oh wait, let me talk about what it's about. So this movie is about the Roman Empire. I don't know what era. Caesar is the king, but it's not Julius Caesar. It's like one of his ancestors, or maybe kids, grandkids. I don't know. Same family, same bloodline. It's about a Roman general who, um, his, the Roman emperor's or the king's son kills the dad or the emperor and becomes emperor, and then he casts the general out because he doesn't like him, basically. So the general um, is about to be executed, but survives because he's epic. um, and then his family are killed. So and then he's captured, and basically has to become a gladiator in gladiator battles for entertainment. And then he's such a good fighter because he was a Roman general that he becomes one of the best gladiators in Roman history, probably. I think. So yeah, it's basically, and then it's basically a revenge story. He's after the emperor, the new emperor, because he killed his family, his wife and his son. Um, I thought this movie was pretty good. Yeah, I agree. Um, the action scenes are really good. The acting is great. It's just well made all around. I think. Um, it's epic. I don't know if I already said that. That's the best way to describe it. Just because of the there's huge set pieces, a thunderous soundtrack, you know, just like a huge scale for this movie, and yeah, there's not really much to say besides that. Like, I really liked all the fight scenes. The first scene starts out like a huge war scene, which is pretty cool, a way to establish the setting. And then I like that scene, but I really like all the gladiator fights themselves, because the way they beat their enemies is pretty clever in most cases. Because he's a general, so he has to be clever. And just seeing gladiator fights is cool in general. Yeah, and the soundtrack is great. In fact, it sounds exactly like the soundtrack. I mean, not exactly, but pretty similar to the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack, which is interesting. It's like the iconic Pirates theme that, when I say that, you will know what I'm talking about. That is used in this movie. And Gladiator actually came first, because Gladiator came out in 2000. Pirates came out in 2006, I think. And you might think, oh, they plagiarized, but actually, Hans Zimmer produced both soundtracks, so can't really copyright or plagiarize your own work, right? So he just reused some of the same. I don't know anything about music, so I don't know the term, but same like parts of the song basically. But yeah, I really like the Pirates theme, so it was kind of cool to hear it in a different movie, I think, especially in a different setting, because this is Roman Empire. And Although I guess that it might actually be the same time period, honestly. I don't really know what time period Pirates is, but it was obviously olden days. So maybe it was 18th century. They're both directed by Jerry B. No. Gladiator is directed by Ridley Scott, who he's a famous actor. Famous director. He did Alien and some other movies. What other movies did he do? Let me look that up real quick. Ridley Scott movies. Alien, anything else like really good? Gladiator. I don't know, maybe that's it. I know he's done more. Oh, he did Blade Runner. That's what it is. I don't know who Jerry B is. Is he the guy who directed Pirates 1? Maybe. Who knows? Not me. That's not what I'm here to talk about today. But yeah, so the soundtrack is good. Also, despite the fact that this movie is pretty long, I think it's like 2.5 hours, maybe a little more. And it's like a period piece, from the Roman Empire. Usually those are things that would make a movie boring to me, because I hate slow movies. But I was never bored in this movie. I mean, it's kind of slow, but it's not like really slow. And I don't know, it's just the pacing is great. It moves along quickly. There's a couple too slow scenes, but nothing too bad. Let's see. There's also some iconic dialogue in this movie, of course. Are you not entertained? I'm sure you've heard that line. That's from Gladiator. I thought he would say it in a more dramatic part of the movie, but he doesn't. He just says it in one of the earlier Gladiator fights, but it's cool. Still a good line. The acting is really good. I think I already said that, but Russell Crowe is a very compelling, heroic protagonist. He's easy to root for, especially since his family just died, so it's like you want him to get his revenge. And then Joaquin Phoenix is the villain. His acting is really good. I mean, he's good in every movie that he's in, Joker, Her. He's been in a bunch of other movies. And in this movie, he's really good. He's like evil, but in like a pathetic way, I guess is the word. But not really pathetic, because he ends up actually fighting the gladiator at the end. I forget his name. Commodus, I think, is his name, and then Maximus is the protagonist. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, no, he's a very I wouldn't say compelling villain, but very believable villain. And then he also has this weird like infatuation with his sister. Like there's these weird implied incest scenes that are kind of weird, but it makes you hate him more, which is good because he's the villain, so you're supposed to hate him. Yeah, so he's really good at playing weird characters, I think. Let's see. I already said the action scenes are really cool. I felt like the ending was a bit underwhelming in the action scene. The way he kills him, but it's not bad. Let's see. Oh, I guess that's all I wrote about for this. Oh, there's a scene where, so at first, Commodus, the villain, doesn't actually know the gladiator is Maximus, the new gladiator, because he wears a mask or like a helmet, and he thinks Maximus is dead because he ordered his execution and his guards lied to him and said they killed him. So there's a scene where Maximus reveals himself to Commodus, and I thought that scene was really good. Yo, 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 hey, my Hades, welcome to the stream. Currently talking about movie Gladiator, which probably a movie you would like, I think. About the Roman Empire. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. But yeah, there's a scene where Commodus reveals himself to Maximus, and I thought that scene was really well done. Very dramatic reveal. Let's see. Any other things I want to talk about in this movie? I don't know. I don't think so. Like, it's just good. Like, when I have less to say about a movie, it usually means it's good. Um, I think, because everything about it is good. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. First of all, that's not a movie, so I wouldn't talk about that on a movie club. Second of all, no, I have not seen it yet. Um, I do want to watch it, but I have not. I mean, you just told me about it like yesterday. Well, actually, I guess it wasn't yesterday. I guess it was a few days ago. Um, you know how I feel about anime, even though it sounds like it's good. Also, speaking of that, is it in Japanese? It's over a couple hours. I feel you can talk. Yeah, I guess that's true. Um, like talk about it. Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah. It's in English and Japanese. Okay, cool. Is the English dub good? Because I know some anime's English dub is not good. Um, I guess actually that's more true for live action shows like Squid Game. English dub is terrible. I always watch it in Korean. I recommend the English. Okay, cool. All right, well, I might watch it at some point. I don't know. I don't really have time. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend. I don't have many plans this weekend. There's a lot of lingo they use that's just better in English. Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, maybe I'll watch it. But I'm not here to talk about Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I'm here to talk about my movies that I watched. Um, I actually think I'm done talking about Gladiator because I already talked about it for a while. It's just a good movie. So, oh, also, actually, I read that it's historically accurate, or at least based on historical events, which is kind of surprising to me because basically the Emperor. Sorry, did you just see that on Fall Guys? I just like walked on air. Basically, the gladiator kills the Emperor of Rome and gives it back to the people, or something like that. So it's kind of surprising that just a gladiator causes such a huge shift in the political climate of Rome. I don't know if that's really how it happened. It says it's based on historical events, so maybe that part isn't true. Don't know. But I just think it's interesting. Um, that it is at least loosely based on historical events. Um, so yeah, Gladiator, I gave a 9 out of 10. Pretty good movie. I would recommend watching it if you have not. Um, it was streaming on Amazon Prime last I checked, so if you want to watch it, you can watch it there. Um, now, oh, also, if you're wondering about this, it's one of the rewards you can redeem with your points. Aloha. I'll put on a Hawaiian lei until the end of the stream. Anyway, but yeah, next movie we're going to talk about today is called Captain Fantastic. This is a lesser known movie, I think. It's been on my list for a while to watch, so I don't even know. I don't think I had heard of it before I put it on my list. It was nominated for Best Lead Actor in 2016, and I think that might have been it. So this movie is, let's see, I gotta get my cast list out. It stars Viggo Mortensen as the main character. He's from Lord of the Rings, which I have not seen actually, but I know he's from it. And it also stars George McKay, who is most recently in 1917, the movie. And then there's some other actors in it. Oh, Catherine Hahn is in it, who you may recognize as Agatha from WandaVision. And Erin Moriarty has a small role. She is Starlight in The Boys. Good show. And it was directed by... no idea who it was directed by. Matt Ross, I think. Did I just make that up? Let me check my cast list. Oh, that's not even the right app. I just opened Instagram. Yeah, Matt Ross. Cool, I got it right. So this movie is about basically a dad and his 6 children who live in the woods, right? They're like in this primal, I mean not primal, it's present day. They live in the woods and their mom dies, so they have to re-enter society to go to her funeral, basically. And they, have lived out in the woods for like 10 years, so they do things very differently than people do in society. So it's, that's what the movie's about, them trying to integrate into society for this funeral. Um, I thought I would love this movie, honestly, but I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. Um, Maybe my hopes were up too high, I don't know, but I kind of felt like it didn't really start getting good, or at least really good, until near the end, like the last 45 minutes or something, when there's a scene where his oldest son reveals that he wants to go to college and got into all the best college schools. I mean, college schools, best colleges, and they have a fight. I think that's where it starts getting good because after once that scene starts, and then the rest of the movie is basically about the dad who his name is Ben. He's realizing that he should not keep his 6 children in isolation um, because there are, it causes problems to keep them isolated from society. So he's, grappling with the fact that he's lived with them for so long, but he should not take care of them anymore, especially because he almost accidentally gets one of his kids killed because she falls off a roof, and he was the one who told her to go up on the roof. So I think that aspect of the movie should have been what it was entirely about. Like, it should have happened. The inciting incident for that subplot should have happened earlier in the film, because why? Hold on, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting dynamic, and the beginning of the movie doesn't really feel like it's about anything, right? It's doing a lot of setup and not really a lot of payoff at the end. Like, it seems like it's just establishing that, hey, these kids are way smarter than normal kids in society, and they have more useful skills like hunting, purifying water, stuff like that. And it just seems like it spends like half of the movie just establishing that, or like, beating it over the head. Is that the term? I think so. So I feel like they could have done less of that and more of the actual grappling with, or the Ben grappling with how he shouldn't be in charge of his kids anymore. But my roommate loved the movie. I think he gave it a 9 out of 10. I only gave it a 7 because I liked it, but I thought it could have been better. The acting was great, though. Viggo Mortensen was nominated for Best Actor for his role as the lead here. I don't think he won, but he was nominated at least, and he definitely deserved that nomination because his acting was great. And then the children actors are all really good too. There's 2 like really young kids in it, and their acting is good. I mean, they don't have to do any like crazy acting, like crazy emotional acting, but they are believable, like compelling performances. I just had something in my head. Oh, and they're also pretty funny too. There's a lot of funny scenes in this movie actually. It's sort of a comedy, I guess, but I would have liked it to be more of a drama. But yeah, there's a lot of funny scenes where the kids that lived in the woods for so long are interacting with things in society that is so normal to people like us. There's a scene where they're like, "Why is everyone so fat?" Because they don't eat junk food. There's a scene where they're at a diner and then they look at the menu and the dad's like, "Never mind, we're leaving. They don't have real food here." And there's a scene where they're with their cousins or something, and the dad asks the cousins what the Bill of Rights is, and they're both, like teenagers, and neither of them know what it is. And then he asks his like 8-year-old what it is, and she starts reciting it word for word. So it's clear that she's smarter. And there's just like a whole bunch of scenes like that where it's like proving that these kids are different. And I feel like while they were funny, there could have been less of them and more of the dramatic part of, that internal subplot that Viggo or that Ben is having. But yeah, the acting was good. Wait, where am I? Oh, and if you guys have watched many of my streams of Movie Club, you know that I like family relationships in movies. I was saying that earlier. In The Woman King, there's a mother-daughter relationship that I really like. Um, this movie is a whole family, so I thought I would really like it because there's one dad and 6 kids. But I don't know. I just didn't. I wasn't really as much of a fan of it as I wanted to be, unfortunately. It like comes off as kind of preachy with all the, this we're better than society. I mean, I guess it's the theme is really you shouldn't or there's detriments to both isolation and society, right? They shouldn't have just one of each because by the end, Ben is like, well, I can't keep my kids in total isolation, so I'm gonna at least send them to school and have like a real house, even though we're still in the woods. So he's compromising, um, but he's still not completely integrated into society because it does a lot of saying, society is bad, kids are dumb, and stuff like that. So that's a good theme to show have the detriments of both. But I feel like it didn't show enough of the detriments of isolation and a lot more of the detriments of society. Which, we live in a society, so they're right there. um, so, it makes you think. There's a song at the end, like the kids break into song, which I know I was just talking about how that happens in They Slash Them, the movie, and that's terrible, but in this movie, it's quite emotional, I think, and done well. They sing Sweet Child of Mine, but in like a different version of it, which I thought was a really cool version of it. I liked it. A cappella, I think. Well, not really a cappella. They have like instruments, but I don't know. The way they sing it is pretty nice, even though they don't really sing at all in the rest of the movie. So it's kind of I don't know. But it's a good song. And then it's a nice moment. And then there's also the very last shot of this movie. They're all just like eating breakfast in their house, and the shot goes on for like 30 seconds with them just eating and nothing else happening. I don't really know what they were going for there. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, but they hold the shot for so long with nothing happening, and it's like, what's going on? Like this is kind of just awkward. Could have cut it way earlier. Maybe there's something the director was going for there, but I don't know. And I also think the oldest kid should have gone to college at the end instead of just going on vacation or whatever, because he was talking about going to college earlier in the movie. But whatever, I don't know. So it's a good movie. I wouldn't, if you're just like a casual movie goer, I probably wouldn't really recommend it. I mean, I guess I would recommend it, but I wouldn't choose it as my first choice. Um, but it's decent. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Captain Fantastic. I gave it a 7 out of 10 overall. Um, but now, let's move on to the last movie of the day, which is Pinocchio. And this is not the original, the remake, which came out this month on Disney Plus. Um, I thought about watching the original and reviewing that as well, but I didn't really feel like it. But yeah, this movie, the remake, is bad. I mean, pretty much all of the live-action Disney movies are not that great. I'm a casual, Andrew says. Well, don't watch it then. Andrew's just a casual SMH. Anyway, yeah, most of the live-action Disney movies, like remakes that they've been making so many of these recently, are just not good. The Lion King wasn't great. I liked Aladdin, honestly, and I did like Beauty and the Beast. Those are like the only two I liked, I think. I didn't like Mulan, the new one. I didn't like Jungle Book. I didn't like what else did they release recently? That might have been all I've seen actually. I don't know. But most of them like are just generally reviewed as bad. Beauty and the Beast is a banger, and I don't care what you think. No, yeah, I do like the new Beauty and the Beast. That one is one of the rare good live-action Disney remakes. Mulan was awful, like really bad. Yeah, I hated Mulan. Oh, I wouldn't say I hated it, but I did not like it. But you guys are saying how much you didn't like those ones. Wait till you watch Pinocchio, because this one is, in my opinion, the worst live action Disney remake of all of them. It's just I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the original in a long time since I was a kid, but even I could tell the magic in Pinocchio was just gone. Cinderella was mid. I didn't see the new Cinderella. Are you talking about the one with Camila Cabello, or the one with the actual Disney one? Because the one with Camila was not Disney, I don't think. Um, Mulan was trash. Yeah, it was. But yeah, I haven't seen the new Cinderella. Well, I haven't seen any of the new Cinderellas. I didn't see the Camila one either. Um, but yeah, I know Disney should just stop remaking them. I mean, I guess they make money, but it doesn't mean they're good. Lion King, I think, is especially not good. Like, these movies look good. That's the only good thing about them. Pinocchio looks good. Lion King looked good. But the stories just aren't good, because most of the time it's just a regurgitation of the original. Like, nothing changes. I mean, I guess we don't really want things to change, but I don't know, it's just the same exact story beats, and somehow it still feels boring. The live action one they did of Cinderella, yeah. I mean, there's two live action Cinderellas that came out recently. One that was last year, and one that was like 2016 or 2015 or something. Because they don't do anything different with the writing. Or in Mulan's case, they changed it into an awful mess. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, Mulan, they changed a lot, but it was bad. But Lion King, they didn't change anything, and it was bad. Pinocchio also, they didn't change anything, and it was terrible. Well, actually, they did change the ending very slightly, I think. They have, instead of him turning into a real boy, they have him becoming, or like, coming to terms with being a puppet, which would be a nice ending, but they don't do anything to, like, earn that at the end. Like, there's nothing in the movie where he's like, you know, maybe I don't need to be a real boy. It's just like, oh, he's not going to become a real boy anymore. So, yeah, same exact story beats for Pinocchio. In fact, Pinocchio goes through the same character beats too, but he still somehow does not feel like he develops at all. Like, he gets no character development, even though in the original he does. I guess the Little Mermaid is next. Oof, yeah. There's a lot of controversy surrounding that one too, because they cast a black actress as Ariel. Personally, I don't care. I don't think the race of the actress matters, because the race of the character doesn't matter in the movie. But a lot of people seem to care. But yeah, even though, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's going to be good. And not because of the actors, I just think the live action Disney movies are not good, or live action Disney remakes are not good in general. So that will, I mean, I'm going to watch it probably, but I probably won't like it. But yeah, Pinocchio, don't even watch it. Like, can you guys believe that the original version is 82 years old? It came out in 1940. It was Disney's second movie, like, ever. The first one was Snow White. The second one was Pinocchio. It came out in 1940. And somehow a movie that came out in 1940 is better than this movie that came out this year. I mean, I guess that's the case for some movies. Like, Citizen Kane came out in 1940. That's a really good movie. But like this Pinocchio, the original version is way better. It doesn't feel like, there's no magic in the new one, right? I mean, there's magic, like, literally magic. The fairy shows up, his nose grows and all that. Jiminy Cricket is his conscious, so all that happens still, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel magical anymore. I don't know how else to describe it. I was just watching it and I was like, this is just boring. How did they make Pinocchio boring? Also, the main actor, or voice actor, who's some new kid, Benjamin Evan Ainsworth is his name. Oh, I didn't say what Pinocchio is about, but you guys know what Pinocchio is about, so I don't need to. I guess I'll briefly describe it. Basically, a wooden puppet comes to life and wants to become a real boy. This is directed by Robert Zemeckis, who's a pretty famous director. He did Back to the Future and some other movies that I don't remember. Um, but it's still not good. And then, oh, Tom Hanks is in it. He's Geppetto, who's Pinocchio's dad in the movie. Um, but yeah, so the voice actor Benjamin Evan Ainsworth is terrible. I mean, I guess I don't want to say terrible. He's just a kid, so I feel kind of bad. But he sounds like Dora the Explorer when he acts in this movie, and I hate it. Like, I know Pinocchio is supposed to sound sort of like that, but not. I don't know, not exactly like Dora, and he sounds pretty much exactly like Dora. Tom Hanks's performance is also kind of just bland, kind of meh. Jiminy Cricket, the voice is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Ooh, he's a good actor. This is a new role for him, at least a different role for him, I think. Unusual for him, I would say. And I do like his voice acting in this. I mean, I wouldn't say I like it, but it fits the Cricket character. It just gets annoying after a while because he puts on such a chipper tone, I guess. And I don't know, his voice just annoys me at the end. Everyone annoys me in this movie. And then all the other actors are not really worth mentioning. They're just kind of bleh. The movie looks good. Like, that's the only thing going for it, really. Pinocchio looks cool. They seamlessly integrate these CGI characters into live action, which, you know, Disney's really good at doing that. They did that in some movies. I can't think of them off the top of my head. But Lion King, I guess, I guess it's not really CGI in live action. That was pretty much entirely CGI. But yeah, Disney's, you know, they're good at making movies look good with their visuals. But good visuals is not enough to make a movie good to watch, you know? Like, it's just boring otherwise. And pretty much everyone agrees with me. It has like a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. Probably like the lowest score of any Disney live action remake. Because it's just that bad. If you have kids someday, or if you currently have kids, and you want to show them a classic Disney movie, like Pinocchio, show them the original from 1940, because it's better than this movie. Does better at the character development, the just story in general. Everything about the original is better. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's everything I had to say. You know, it's interesting. When I first watched it, there's only one scene where Pinocchio's nose grows when he lies. And I was like, I could have sworn that happened more in the original. Why would they just get rid of it? But then I looked it up, and it actually only happens in one scene in the original movie as well. Which is weird because I thought that was like, you know, that's like the most well-known thing about Pinocchio's character, the fact that his nose grows when he lies. But even in the original movie, it only grows in one scene. And he's stuck in a cage and he's like telling the fairy he did not do something, I don't even remember. But he lies, basically. And that same thing happens in this movie. It only happens in one scene. But in this scene, they don't even play it off as like a moral lesson for kids. Because, you know, Pinocchio is supposed to teach kids to not lie, I guess, because his nose grows, so it's teaching them to tell the truth. In this movie, they treat it more as a plot convenience because his nose grows enough so that they can reach the keys to the cage that he's locked in and then unlock him and set him free. So it's like, I don't know, they're ignoring the moral lesson there and just treating it as something that he can do. And then he never does it again also. So it's kind of like, in a way, that kind of teaches kids that lying can get you out of tough situations. Which is not something you should teach your kids, even though it may be true. Just kidding. So yeah, I don't know. There's no lesson in this movie at all, really. It's just Pinocchio comes to life, goes on some weird adventures, doesn't develop at all, eventually saves his dad, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't even feel like talking about it anymore. It's just that bad. I didn't like it. I gave this movie a 4 out of 10 overall, which is not as bad as they slash them that I was talking about earlier. But 4 is still a pretty low score for me. Most of the movies I watch get above a 5, I think. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are my most common ratings. Or I guess 6, 7, 8, and 9 probably. Um, I rarely give 1, 2s, or 3s, and rarely give 10s also. So the fact that I got below a 5 is saying something. I think I gave Lion King like a 7, but I should have given it lower. Maybe a 6, 5 or a 6, because that's not really that great either. Um, Aladdin I really liked. I don't know if you guys saw the live action Aladdin, but I actually really enjoyed that. That might be my favorite of the new live action remakes. That and Beauty and the Beast are pretty good. But really those are the only ones I think that are good. I mean, I didn't see Lady and the Tramp or Dumbo or the new Cinderella, but I'm sure I heard they didn't get very good reviews. So yeah, Disney should just stop making live action remakes and then now they're doing Little Mermaid, so they also confirmed Snow White, so they're doing that too. Um, can't wait to see how they ruin that one too. I don't know. Maybe that one will be good. I mean, Snow White was their first ever movies or feature-length movies, so maybe they'll do it justice. But I kind of doubt it. um, let's see. So we talked about 6 movies today. We talked about The Woman King, American Beauty, They Slash Them, Gladiator, Captain Fantastic, and Pinocchio. Um, if anyone watching this on YouTube later has any thoughts on these movies they want to talk about, let me know in the comments because I would love to hear your opinions. I'm going to leave Fall Guys even though I didn't die yet because I'm going to get off because I need to go watch the new episode of Andor, the new Star Wars series. We watched 2 of the episodes yesterday, but we didn't get to watch the 3rd one, so we're watching that today. Um, so excited for that. Um, but yeah, I hope you all enjoyed today's episode of Radish's Movie Club. This full stream will be up on my YouTube later. Um, Tomorrow is Friday. I don't usually stream on Fridays, but I will be streaming tomorrow because Shrumia, which is that other Minecraft server that I play on sometimes, if you guys remember, um, is hosting a live minigame, which is Hunger Games, for a cash prize. So I'm gonna try to win that because I like cash. um, I'm bad at Minecraft though, so I probably won't win. So tomorrow that game starts at 4, so I think I'm gonna start streaming around 3 or 3:30. So if you're interested in watching me play that, tune in tomorrow. Otherwise, um, Radish SMP, we're fighting the Ender Dragon next Wednesday, or I guess this coming Wednesday, at 5 p.m. Eastern. So hope to see you there. Um, Movie Club will return in 2 weeks with some more movies. I have not. I'm pretty much caught up on movies. Like I've talked about all the ones that I've watched recently, so I got to watch a bunch more movies before 2 weeks from now, so I can talk about more with you guys. Next Thursday, instead of Movie Club, I'm going to be playing some other game on stream. Not sure what yet. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll take off for a day since I'm streaming on Wednesday for the Ender Dragon. Who knows? Not me. But yeah, thank you all for joining today's stream. Thank you, Andrew, for redeeming the Aloha thing. I enjoyed wearing this lei. And yeah, I think I'm going to make this captain's hat a part of my image. I think that's a good idea. Anyway, yeah, so thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.